So when we talk about how 3D printing works, I guess there's two broad categories, someone might say. You know, we can either add materials up to form an object that's typically done by a layering process, perhaps, or we can subtract from a larger volume of material until our final object is realized.
I often describe it as using a hot glue gun that is married to a printer, kind of. So you have things that move back and forth across an XYZ coordinate. And while you're doing it, you're extruding out a very thin layer of plastic. And then you do this layer by layer, and then the device keeps moving further and further away from the extruder until you build up a surface that has height as well as width and depth.
Here within the Advanced Visualization Lab, we have the opportunity to impact a lot of different schools and groups within the university, faculty, staff, and students.
When somebody comes to us with some 3D data that they're ready to have set up to be printed, a lot of the times that data may have holes in it, the walls of the data might be too thin. So what we do in the data processing stage is we prepare their 3D models to be targeted to a particular printing system.
So we can use software to either scan objects that makes a 3D point cloud, which just looks at all the points on a surface and then makes an object out of that in the software. Or we can just go into software and we can make an object. If it doesn't exist in reality, we could build something. And then what we do is we take those objects and we look at it, see if there's any holes in there, make sure that all the faces on the objects are pointing the right way. And if we don't do those things, then the printer software may not be able to figure out exactly what we want to do.
So the future of 3D printing, I think one area is definitely the consumer level.
The imagination is the limit here. So, you know, it just opens the opportunities up.